Hi, I am Hannah Erbskorn, and I decided to take my trip to Germany with three of my friends. Our destination would be going to Berlin, Germany, and I decided to go there so we could learn about the history and to try new things. We would also, while we were down there, we'd be trying the new foods, exploring the city, and going to multiple museums and historical sites. So some things about Berlin: the climate there, it's moderately continental. That means there's cold winters and warm summers. The average temperature in December, which is when we plan to go, is a low of 32 degrees and a high of 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Including the wind and humidity, it can increase the cold due to the Atlantic currents. The geographic makeup: Berlin is full of marshy woodlands with mostly a flat topography. Also, the population is about 3.73 million people. Their natural resources include coal, natural gas, timber, uranium, and copper. And then their energy resources include brown coal, wind, hard coal, uranium, and solar energy. Some more things about Berlin. Germany itself, it has a lot of hills and many mountains, but Berlin is actually quite flat. While we're flying, we would be able to see Harz, which is the bottom left picture with its beautiful hills and mountains, and that is actually the highest elevation in northern Germany. And the other two pictures on this slide, the top right and the bottom right, those are two different scenic pictures of Berlin. So for day one, we would leave Bath, Michigan at 7 a.m. and drive 1 hour and 30 minutes to Detroit Metropolitan Airport for a 10:32 a.m. flight on JetBlue to Logan International Airport in Boston, which we would arrive around 12:23 p.m. We'd then have a 5-hour and 23-minute layover in Boston, and we leave there at 5:50 on Aer Lingus and travel 6 hours and arrive at Dublin Airport at 4:50 a.m. on day two. Upon landing in Dublin at 4:50 a.m., we will have a 1 hour and 55-minute layover. At 6:45 a.m., we leave on Aer Lingus and travel for 2 hours and 20 minutes and finally arrive at Tegel Airport at 10:05 a.m. and then go through passport control and customs, which should only take about 20 minutes. We then leave the airport and drive 15 minutes south to Novum Hotel Gates, Berlin, Charlottenburg. We will travel over the Spree River while we are driving to the hotel, and that Uber ride should only be about $20. We'd then check into the hotel around 11 a.m., and that would bring a total for the 4 nights of $70 a night, being $210. And then the plane tickets round trip for all 4 of us would be about $4,179. And then on this slide, on the left picture, you can see the air path from Dublin to Berlin for the airports. And then on the right one, you can see the Tegel Airport and then our path to our hotel where we cross the Spree River, and that is about a 15-minute drive. Day two, at 11:40 a.m., after checking in and getting a little settled in, we would walk 1 minute north down the road and go to the GEO coffee bar. And the food and coffee there should be about $35, and that coffee bar is the one that's in the picture on the top right. Then at 1 o'clock, we catch an Uber and drive 22 minutes via Skalitzer to arrive at Treptower Park in Berlin, which would be about a $15 Uber ride. After a couple hours of being at the park, at 4:30, we would ride back to the hotel, and then at 5:30, we would then take a 7-minute Uber ride for $7 via Otto Sur Ali to Charlottenburg Palace Orangery. At 6 o'clock, we then go to an evening at Charlottenburg Palace, the palace tour, the dinner, and the concert by the Berlin Residence Orchestra, which should be a total of 4 hours, as the dinner begins at 6 and then the concert begins at 8, which in the bottom right picture, you can see the 2 of the musicians in the orchestra. And with the dinner, the concert, and the tour, the tickets are about $430 total for all 4 of us. Then at 10:30, we would take an Uber back to the hotel. Again, that one would only be $7. And then after all the fun activities that we got to do and being a little jet lagged, we'd probably call it a night by 10:40. Day 3, we would walk to GEO Coffee Bar at 7:30, and the food and coffee there would probably only be about $30 as well. At 8:30, we would walk southeast 13 minutes down Hardenbergstrasse to arrive at Zoologischer Garden train station. And then at 10 o'clock, we'd go on the Sachsenhausen concentration camp tour, which would be about 6 hours, and that is in the picture on this slide. That is one of the buildings of the concentration camp. So we take a train ride for 45 minutes, and we'd visit the burial pits, the gallows, the gas chambers, and the punishment cells that were all man-made. The museum tickets are about $20 each, which would be a total of $78.48. And then the train tickets are about $8 each, with a total of $31.84. Then after those couple hours, at 4:30, we would return to the Garden train station and walk 12 minutes north to return to the hotel. Then at 4:45, we would relax at the hotel and just take a little rest. Then at 6 o'clock, we would walk 6 minutes northeast to Franck Brasserie Bar and Lounge, which on the bottom left picture you can see is the path we would take to get there, and on the right picture that is the inside of the bar and lounge. And since that's more of an expensive place, the food and water there would be about $140, $150. Then after having dinner there at 6 o'clock, we'd walk back to the hotel and again call it a night. At 4:30, we would wake up and get all ready, and then at 8 o'clock, we would take a 4-minute walk to Cafe Heidenberg, with the food and coffee there being $30. Then at 9 a.m., we would take an Uber and drive 15 minutes east to Alexanderplatz, Germany, which is a $6 Uber ride. Then at 10 o'clock, we would start the Berlin bike tour of the Berlin Wall and Cold War, which is about 4 hours of this historical sites and this man-made wall. With that, we'd learn about Berlin during the Cold War, and we would get to hear the life on both sides of the wall. And tickets would be about $130 for all 4 of us. Afterwards, we would return to Alexanderplatz at 2 o'clock. Then at 2, we would walk 26 minutes south by Singerstrasse to eat at Ditch in Berlin, which would only be about $30 for the food and water, which is in the picture of the ditch to the park. So from there at 3:30, we would walk 28 minutes north Andreas Straub to hang out at Volz Park, Friedrichshain. And then at 5:30, we would grab an Uber and drive 18 minutes back to the hotel. And that Uber would only be about 10 minutes. Then at 6 o'clock, we'll relax at the hotel for about an hour after walking and looking around for a while. And at 7, we would then walk 2 minutes south to eat at Manufactum Brat and Butter, which would be about $150 for the food. And then at 9 o'clock, we'd walk back to the hotel. And in the bottom right picture, that is a picture of the park as well. Then day 5 is our last day, so at 11 o'clock, we'll check out of the hotel. At 11:30, we would then leave the hotel and drive 15 minutes north back to the airport, which would be about a $20 Uber. Then at 1:05, we'll depart the Tegel Airport and fly 1 hour and 20 minutes to Dublin. With that, there would be a 2 hour and 55-minute layover. Then at 4:20 p.m., we would depart Dublin and fly 7 hours and 10 minutes to Boston, and that would have a 2 hour and 12-minute layover. Then at 8:42 p.m., we would depart from Boston and fly 2 hours and 6 minutes to Detroit, and we would then land in Detroit around 10:48 p.m. So the total cost of this 5-day trip would be $5,840.52. I hope you really enjoyed hearing about my trip. I thought it was really interesting and got to learn more about the history in Berlin and the history in Germany and just how much history there actually is in Germany. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.